What's going on, you guys? I'm, as always, Mr. Grimreaper. Welcome everybody to my channel. Welcome to the very second to the last final Halloween edition of Back in Time. We 2 years ago, back in 2017, I gave this movie 10 out of 10. I said that this movie was really good. There was some stuff that I said that I had a problem with the movie, but I gave it a 10 out of 10, and I loved Kong Skull Island.
Yeah.
So, 2 years later, have I changed my mind? Let's find out, shall we?
What?
This is finally the spoiler review that y'all been waiting for fucking 2 years of Kong Skull Island. This film was directed by Jordan Vogt Roberts. This film is based on the legendary on King Kong, which is by Marion C. Cooper and Edgar Wallace. This film stars Tom Hiddleston, Samuel L. Jackson, John Goodman, Brie Larson, Jean Tian, Toby Cabell, John Ortiz, Corey Hawkins, Jason Mitchell, Shea Wingham, Thomas Mann, Terry Notary, and John C. Reilly. This movie is the second film in the Monsterverse.
Yep.
Which was followed directly by Godzilla King of the Monsters, which my review is up right now. If y'all want to take a look at that one.
And then of course there will be a sequel to this, and I know him and I are gonna try to go see this together. Godzilla vs. Kong, and that's scheduled for 2020, and we'll talk more about that later.
Yeah. So we're gonna go through the plot this time, and we're gonna talk about the movie, and we're gonna see if either me or Knight changed our minds after 2 whole years after seeing this movie. So let us talk about this. In 1944, 2 World War II fighter pilots, American pilot Hank Marlowe, played by who was John C. Reilly in the movie, and a Japanese pilot, Gunpei Ikari, parachute onto an island in the South Pacific after a dogfight and engage in close combat. The fight is interrupted by a giant 100-foot ape. 29 years later, Bill Randa, head of the United States government organization Monarch, plans a search for primeval creatures on the recently discovered Skull Island. He hires a military force commanded by Lieutenant Colonel Preston Packard, played by Samuel L. Jackson, a tracker, and former British Special Air Service Captain James Conrad, who was played by Tom Hiddleston, and an anti-war photographer, Mason Weaver, who was played by Brie Larson. Arriving at Skull Island, Packard's men begin dropping seismic explosives.
Oh boy.
This was one of my problems in the fucking movie. This was one of my main problems that I had talked about in my non-spoiler review. Developed by Randa's seismologist Houston Brooks to map out the island and prove Brooks's hollow Earth theory. The unit is then attacked by the giant ape, scattering the survivors across the island. 2 groups form between survivors. Conrad, Weaver, the researchers, and one of the soldiers gather quickly, while Randa and the rest land a few miles away. Packer goes in search of the transport helicopter piloted by his right-hand man, Major Jack Chapman, intending to use the weapons on board to kill the ape. Conrad's group encounters local Iwi natives and an older Marlowe. Marlowe tells the group that the giant ape is named Kong, who protects the island from predators including a race of subterranean reptilian creatures dubbed the skull crawlers. The skull crawlers are responsible for killing Kong's entire species, leaving him as the last of his kind. The Iwi believe that when Kong dies, a giant skull crawler will awaken and ravage the island. Marlowe reveals he and Ikari became friends during their time on the island, but Ikari was killed by a skull crawler some time ago. As Chapman is ambushed and devoured by a skull crawler, Conrad's group helps Marlowe complete a boat built for parts of Marlowe and Ikari's down planes. They ride down the river and secure communication with Packard's group. They regroup with Packard, who insists on searching for Chapman. Marlowe leads them through a mass grave and are attacked by the skullcrawler that killed Chapman, killing Randa and others before dying in a flammable gas explosion triggered by Weaver. Learning about Chapman's death, Packard reveals his plan to kill Khan and avenges the fallen men.
Oh boy.
But it wasn't Kong's fault, though. Kong had nothing to do with that.
No, he didn't.
That's yeah. Let's continue because I'm getting really pissed again. Marlowe, Brooks attempt to explain that killing Kong would lead to the Skullcrawlers running rampant. See?
There you go.
But Packard refuses to listen because he's a damn idiot. The group parts ways. The group parts ways with Packard's group retrieving the weapons from Chapman's chopper and laying a trap for Kong at a nearby lake. Oh, I love this scene. I love that scene. I love this scene coming up here.
Yeah.
While the non-military personnel head back to the boat, Conrad and Weaver encounter Kong up close and seeing his true peaceful nature. They resolve to save him. Packard's group lures Kong with the remaining seismic charges and incapacitates him with ignited napalm. Conrad, Weaver, and Marlowe arrive after a standoff. Persuade the. Yeah, thank you. But Packard continues to refuse. Jesus Christ. This is why you're going to get people killed, dude. Seriously. The giant skull crawler emerges from the lake and Packard is crushed by Kong. The skull crawler fights and overpowers Kong, but with the humans' help, the ape emerges victorious in the end. The survivors reach the rendezvous point and leave the island as Kong stoically watches. During the credits, Marlowe reunites with his wife and meets his son for the first time. In a post-credit scene, Conrad and Weaver are detained and recruited by Monarch. They are informed by San Lin and Brooks that Kong is not the only monster king and shown archive footage of cave paintings depicting Godzilla, Mothra, Rodan, and King Ghidorah. The final painting shows Godzilla and Ghidorah in battle. As the screen cuts to black, Godzilla's roar can be heard. Ending. Kong Skull Island and getting you ready for Godzilla King of the Monsters. Spoilers, by the way. Okay, so I oh my god, man. I have to talk about that bullshit at the beginning of this movie. Where they're dropping explosives. They're dropping explosives. What was the point to that whole fucking thing? What was the fucking point? Like, okay, what did you think of that, dude? Like,
big mistake.
Yeah.
Big mistake.
In my
Steve, Hollow Earth. What?
yeah. Yeah, in my other review, let me go back to 2017, when I first gave you guys my review. My problem with this movie was Packard, because he was being an idiot.
Yes.
My problem with this movie was the fact that they were dropping bombs in the middle of the fucking jungle. Everything. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm getting really, really frustrated with this fucking review, but it. After 2 years, after seeing this movie, when I first saw this, and 2 years ago, this movie pissed me off. That really pissed me off. When he decided, why are you gonna drop bombs in the jungle? And then also, not to mention, you're fucking with Kong. You're fucking with something that you should not be fucking with. Period. You know what I mean? You're bothering Mother Nature. And you're gonna blame Kong for what happened to your men, but you're the one, dude. See, this is my problem with Packard. Packard doesn't know when to fucking stop and smell the roses. Packard, it wasn't Kong's doing. It wasn't none of Kong's doing. It was the skull crawlers that was killing your men. But also, who was the son of a bitch leading them into their own death? It was you. It was fucking you. So you're gonna fucking blame Kong for that. And act like, oh, he did something wrong to me. Oh, go to hell, dude. Really? Kong had nothing to do with that. Kong had nothing to do with that, dude. At all.
I'm glad Kong crushed him. I'm glad he died because, dude, I hate people like that.
Yeah, he crushed him. He crushed him. I'm glad he did. Because he... Okay. Anyway. Yeah, sorry, guys. That's my dad. My dad's doing, like, weird stuff over here. But anyway, but yeah, he crushed him, and he decided to, and Packard went out like an asshole.
He did.
I didn't like, to be honest, I didn't like him to begin with. Even though I think that Samuel L. Jackson did was a pretty good character, I hated Packard. I hated Packard with every inch of my being. And
my God.
There's something that this did not talk about, and we need to talk about this. Me and him, I'm glad he's seen the movie because he knows exactly what I'm about to talk about. There is a scene in this movie, I think at the very beginning of the movie when they first walked into that jungle.
Yeah.
There's something horrifying that happened to this shit that they see.
Oh, God.
Giant spiders.
No!
It was giant fucking spiders. And I hate spiders. Like, I told you guys when we were talking about the Meet the Applegates.
Yep.
That if I see any insect, if they're really small, then I'll kill them. But if they're like really, really, really giant size big, sorry.
Bigger than us, yeah.
Sorry, I'm gonna run the other way.
Same here. Bugs.
But this movie scared the crap out of me.
Same here.
There was one scene in this movie that got me. It's this one particular. It's this one moment. This one instant. Kong is on one side. Kong is on one side of the lake. There's this lake of fire. Kong is on one side. Packard is on the other. And they're looking dead at each other.
Man.
And you hear this epic choir. Like it's like the choir from hell.
Yeah.
Just. Please stop. Yeah, that's my dad. Sorry, guys. But yeah, it sounds like the choir from hell. And it was that moment. It was in that instant that they both. You saw the monster. You saw the monster and the man.
Yeah.
They were both pissed. It looks so freaking nice and it looks so freaking cool. And I thought it was so. I thought I had to mention that. But what did you think of that part, man?
Oh my gosh. Exactly. Yeah, I thought that was a good part too. I mean, you get to see, the intensity, the stare down and stuff like that. Man, that was something, and but man, for this movie, I'm glad I saw it. I actually have it on DVD, so I can watch it whenever I want to. But
Yeah.
but that island has to be pretty crazy for one, because it has huge animals. Like this one part that when I saw was for the first time they see this huge animal with these long horns, like this huge animal come up.
Yeah, it looks like a moose or like a bull or something like that.
Okay, yeah, yak or some kind of thing. But my God, though, I mean, good movie though, good movie. I actually like it.
Okay, I gotta ask because people's had a problem with the skull crawlers. The way they looked. What did you think of the skull crawlers in the movie, man?
They freaked me out big time. My gosh, creature like that. Oh, I don't want to even run into one of those. Trust me. But you seen King Kong battling the big one? Ooh, what a battle that was! I can imagine what it's going to be like when he fights, Godzilla. You can just imagine the my God, crashing to the rock and throwing each other around and just man, the skull crawlers though, yeah, creepy as hell.
Yeah, and if you guys have not heard the music, I'm gonna tell you something. The music in this movie is really good. It is terrifying to listen to. It is also it is so interesting. And I'm surprised that this movie got a 75 on Rotten Tomatoes. I felt like it could have. I feel like that this movie could have gotten a little bit more better with that.
Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes don't know nothing, man. They want to put it down. Go to hell, Rotten Tomatoes. Go to hell.
But yeah, that's how I feel too. That's exactly how I feel. When we were talking about Zombieland, Double Tap, I felt exactly the same fucking way because they gave that movie a 68. 68, my ass. Same thing with this. 75, my ass. Kong Skull Island was really good. Was a really good movie. I can't wait for him to talk. I can't wait for him to see King of the Monsters, Godzilla. So we can talk about that because he's gonna freaking freak out when he sees Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Because I'm looking forward to when we do the spoiler review for that, for Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Because I want him to be as freaked out as he possibly can be for that movie. But yeah, as he was talking about before, rest the fucking sure. When Godzilla vs. Kong comes out next year, in March of next year, rest assured, his ass will be here, and we will be talking about it. We will be talking about Godzilla vs. Kong. Because I am looking so forward to seeing what happens when Godzilla takes on Kong next year.
Oh yeah, that's my battle.
And I can't wait for him to see. I really, really want him to see Godzilla King of the Monsters, because I want to do a spoiler review for that because I want to see his. I want to literally see his face when we talk about that movie, and when
Yeah,
we talk about that movie and
yeah,
stuff
we'll
like
get to
that.
that.
So,
That'll be back in time for you guys.
so has my opinion changed? You guys are probably asking, well, Grim, you did a review for this 2 years ago, man. Has your opinion changed? And I have to give you guys my opinion. I have to give you guys my honest. Be honest. No, it hasn't. I still give this movie 10 out of 10. Oh shit. Hold. Oh, I apologize, guys. Just one moment. Just one moment. Okay. I apologize, guys. That was my mother. Um. But anyway, I apologize, guys. Oh yeah. Sorry. Um. But yeah, you guys are probably asking, well, Grim, did your opinion change? And I have to say no, it hasn't. I still give this movie 10 out of 10,
Oh yeah,
and
that's what I do.
I still feel like Kong Skull Island was really good. Even though there's some stuff in this I did not like, the whole thing with
Yeah,
Hacker, the whole thing with the fact that they decided to freaking put bombs in the jungle. That they decided to do what they wanted to do with that. Um, and I thought it was completely stupid and retarded. But but yeah, um, but I gotta wonder, man. Did your how do you feel about Skull Island?
well, I mean, I agree on the rating you gave it, 10 out of 10. I totally believe it. Him and Fisher's in similarities. Didn't like Hacker because he's gonna have to be an idiot. Um, but other than that, though, man, it was good. Like I said, I didn't like the spider part. And the animals on that were huge, but I really liked it. I ended up liking it, and I watched it again. So yeah, never. If you guys have not seen this, please pick up a DVD copy. It's available at Walmart. And you'll find it in the cheap bin. You know how they have those bins at Walmart. Find it, watch it. It's a real good movie. That's how I got to come across. My mom was to me one day, hey, grab some movies you haven't seen. And that was one of them I grabbed, was Kung Fu Island. So I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
And I recommend it. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. See for yourself what you guys think and stuff like that. And but yeah, I thought it was good. I recommend it. And again, let us know what you guys think about the review, and then also about your opinions if you have seen it on the movie, of course.
yeah, and I can't wait for him to see Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
Thank you.
And we'll give you guys our review. I will talk. I did a review for that on the channel, a non spoiler review, that y'all guys can take a look at. But I will give you guys as soon as he gets a chance to watch Godzilla King of the Monsters, we'll give you guys our spoiler review for that. But here in a minute, we got one more back in time review to talk about. Then it's on to my regular reviews, which I'm probably gonna leave your screen like this. The Halloween stuff, I'll probably leave it like that. Because I got two reviews to talk about. One of them pissed me off to the nth degree. You'll find out why here in a minute. But that's going to be it for me. I'm, as always, Mr. Grimreaper 412 with Dark Knight 97, and we'll see you all in the afterlife. Peace.